All right, so you look at your year and you ask yourself the question, how did I handle electrical failures, electrical problems in my building? You know, a lot of times they say you learn from history, and that's why you study history so you can make better decisions today and better decisions tomorrow. I like to learn from other people's lessons, especially people who have been through situations, because if you learn from them, it better equips you to handle if that same situation or a similar situation presents itself to you. You know, this year I've had calls from bus riser explosions. Yes, bus riser explosions. I said that correctly. To something so small as a receptacle in the wall not working, to lights, to VFDs, the half a floor being out. We can learn from those. And from the calls that we've taken, from the service calls that we've gone out in response to a power loss or power failure, I think you can start asking yourself 3 questions that'll help better equip you to handle if you have a power loss or power failure in your building. The first question that you ask is, what was affected? See, that's important because it'll tell you where to look. So let's use the example of lights. If a light fixture stops working, you know it's more at the light. But if several lights are, or half the floor, the whole floor, you know that possibly there's a problem at what fed it. So identify what was affected by it. Was it a piece of equipment or all the equipment fed from the MCC? Was it a light or a bank of lights or all the lights on the floor? That leads you to the second question you ask is, how is it fed? Because once you know what's affected, then you get to a principle that we like to teach called line to load. How does it feed? How does it leave? Okay, if I've got light fixtures that are out, how are they fed? Well, I know it's fed from the lighting panel in the electrical room. So you'd go to the lighting panel, you would see if a breaker tripped, or you would check for voltage. If everything's good there, then you know somewhere between the breaker and the lighting fixture, you have a problem with the connection on there. So if you go ahead and you start by knowing what's affected, it leads you right to how's it fed. The third thing is what equipment is needed. Because you have to make a decision, is this something that you can handle, or do you need to sub it out and call someone in? If you have the right equipment, a lot of times you can walk through and figure this out yourself. So if you know that it's several lights that are out, and you know it's fed from this lighting panel, some of the equipment that you might need is a good multimeter. Not just a little tracer that detects voltage, but a good multimeter that allow you, when you take the cover off, to say, hey, do I have power at the panel? Do I have power leaving the breaker? The second thing is I need to know what in that of our equipment I need is the proper PPE. If I'm going to be opening up stuff, do I have the proper arc flash protective clothing, the face shield, the gloves, the suit? Do I have that kind of stuff to protect me as I'm going in and actually checking for voltage? The third thing to ask is, do I have parts to do the repair? We talked about inventory a couple times throughout this year, but do I have inventory? If I have a bad breaker, do I have breakers to replace? If I have a bad fuse, do I have fuse to replace? If I have a bad ballast, do I have a ballast to replace? If it's a starter, whatever it is, do I have the parts to do it? So ask yourself those 3 questions. When you have a power failure or a power issue, what's affected? How does it fed? And do I have the proper equipment? And if I don't, then who do I call? Who is that person that I have on speed dial, as we like to say, that I can call that can help me resolve the issue? If not, you can properly start to equip yourself with those 3 questions and begin to tackle and resolve those issues much quicker in your building in this coming year.